Good afternoon. This is Victor Jimenez with Sewerline Check Professionals. I'm here at 501 North Stanley Avenue in Los Angeles, and I'm in the process of performing a video examination of the main sewer line for Dave Henning. The main sewer line is a portion of the waste drainage piping which is exterior to the structure. It lies underground and connects the building drain line system to the public sewer. The building drain line system then is the portion or portions of the waste drainage piping which are underneath or interior to the structure. Today's video examination does not focus on the building drain line system, so further evaluation is desired regarding the building drain line system. A licensed plumbing contractor should be contacted, or a specialty building drain line video examination can be set up through our office. Alright, so on this property we have two structures that have plumbing on it. We have the main house and then we have the guest house in the back. So this video is going to be shot in two parts. The first video that I'm shooting today is from the main sewer line cleanout in front and to the right of the front door of the main house. This will cover the main sewer line that connects both the guest house and the main house to the public sewer. So this is the main line. We do have an auxiliary line which connects the guest house into the main house. I've tested the water lines from there, and I can see that the water coming out of the guest house does run through the main house to then connect to this cleanout here. So, as I mentioned, this video will be shot in two parts. We're going to be shooting this first video here, then we're going to be resetting to the guest house to show the line that connects the guest house to the main house. Alright, so immediately we're sitting here under the street, and we're going to be pulling back from public sewer, and we are in a 6-inch diameter vitrified clay pipe. Now, the vitrified clay is a very common material for main sewer lines. It has a long service life expectancy. However, it's more susceptible to damage during earthquakes and seismic activity, and it also has a tendency to let in roots at the joint areas. Now, we only have a short section of that clay pipe before we enter in a different material, which is a concrete section. So we're in a 6-inch diameter concrete pipe. Now, concrete has very similar characteristics to the clay, in that it has a long service life expectancy. However, it's more susceptible to damage during earthquakes and seismic activity, being a more brittle pipe material, and it also has a tendency to let in roots at the joint areas. You can see roots there running along the left side of the pipe, and there at the joint areas as well. So, what we're keeping an eye out for in this section is to make sure there aren't any breaks or cracks in the line. When we see the roots coming in this section of concrete, those are a maintenance concern. With proper cleaning, those will be the roots will be knocked back and kept going, so there's not much of an issue there. But we need to make sure that the roots are out of the way and that there aren't any breaks in the pipe. One other thing about concrete pipe materials in Los Angeles. In 2007, the City of Los Angeles approved an ordinance which pretty much, in summary, states that if you have a section of concrete pipe known as the sewer lateral, so the sewer lateral is the portion of the pipe that's under the street or the sidewalk and that connects essentially the public sewer or the city sewer to the main house or to the structure. What we're looking at right now is a concrete lateral, so this portion of the pipe is under the street. It's a 6-inch diameter pipe and it is concrete material. So the ordinance pretty much states that if you have a concrete lateral that was built before 1965, that essentially one of two things is required to be done with that concrete lateral. One is a replacement of that concrete lateral with a newer material, such as a clay. In certain circumstances, the city might approve a plastic pipe, but either way, essentially, the ordinance is pretty much you either replace the line or you put a lining system through it. Now, a lining system is essentially a material that's run through the inside of a pipe, and it's hardened to create essentially a pipe within a pipe, and it's promoted as a rehabilitation material or a rehabilitation method. For older systems. Now, the reason that I'm bringing in this ordinance isn't necessarily from an aspect of that this needs to be done for the practicality or the functionality of this line. Because from what I've seen so far, the concrete has been holding up, and up till essentially this point, there's no reason to replace it from a functionality standpoint or from a practicality standpoint. The reason that I'm bringing this up is because with certain type of building permits that might be requested or might be pulled, the city might then ask to do an inspection of this concrete lateral. Or the more specifically, not knowing necessarily that it's a concrete lateral, they'll request to do an inspection of the sewer lateral before they would approve certain building-related permits. If they do that inspection and then thus upon finding this concrete lateral, they might then request that either the lining system get installed or that the material is replaced. Again, the reason that I'm bringing this up is because this is something that could come up with in the future if certain building permits are pulled or are requested. The examples of that kind of thing would be if you were to be installing a new bathroom, possibly moving bathrooms around, but it isn't just limited to necessarily the plumbing. Certain other types of building permits that would be pulled would also then require that an inspection of the lateral is done. So it's just something to keep in mind, because from my standpoint today, this section of this concrete lateral, while it has the roots coming in and it will need to be cleared out, it isn't necessarily in need of replacement, but it is something that the city might request. Now, I do have one issue with this line here at 23 feet. What's going on is we have a little bit of a dip and a belly in the pipe. That, in addition to some of the roots coming in, it's hard to see whether or not this line has any kind of break. It seems like there might be a break there. Having a joint area that small is not very common, but it's something that should be just flushed out with a hydrojet cleaning. The hydrojet cleaning will remove all of the roots and the debris in the line, and will be able to give us a clear picture on whether that section there is broken or not. Okay, so here at 21 feet, we're converting from that concrete pipe into an ABS plastic. The ABS plastics are an excellent material for main sewer lines. They have a long service life expectancy. They're also intended to be impervious to root intrusions. And lastly, they have a smooth inner surface, which makes them very efficient at washing out debris. Now here at 15 feet, we're converting into an original cast iron pipe. Cast iron is a material that typically has a service life between 70 to 80 years. On average, and what goes on with the cast iron pipe is that as it gets older, it goes through kind of a several-stage process of deterioration and eventually decay. So what occurs with this material, which is different from the other materials that we've looked at today, is that there's actually chemical reactions going on with the pipe as you have the water and other debris and materials flowing through it. And the pipe material itself will actually start to corrode and to wash away. You're not going to see that with a cast iron or with a clay pipe, with a concrete pipe. With a plastic pipe, it doesn't have that reaction, that chemical reaction going on. Now, there's a little bit of a concern here, which is that roots coming into a concrete or a cast iron pipe typically indicate that there is a break in them. And you can see here, it looks like there's possibly a crack running along this side of the pipe, although we can't be completely certain of that because there's enough kind of debris floating around in there that it's hard to say for sure, but it looks like this section is broken there at 13 feet. We can be conclusive about this when a hydrojet cleaning is done to remove all those roots, but roots penetrating into a cast iron pipe is not common. Typically that only occurs when you have some kind of break in the line. Here's another issue. We've got another section there at 10 feet, about 9 feet, that's also got some roots coming in. So that's not a good sign. You shouldn't be seeing any roots coming into this cast iron pipe. So we have a few more feet here and we're going to be pulling out. They've installed a plastic clean out here. So we're going to be pulling out through this clean out, and I'll show you our access point today and approximately where this cast iron pipe runs. So the cast iron pipe runs pretty much, can't really see that. I've placed a little pink marker flag. You can only see kind of the outline of the pink here, but it's essentially right where that tree stump is. That's where the line's running, the cast iron pipe. The break is located approximately right about there, or what appears to be a break, where we have that section of those roots coming in. That first one that I showed you at about 13 feet. Alright, and this is the clean out access. The front door is right through there, and we have this clean out access right here. So we're just going to get a photograph of this for the report, and then we're going to go ahead and reset out to that second guest structure and shoot our video from there.